Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's Shirley Davis, and I talk about and understand very well from personal experience dissociative identity disorder. Today, we're going to talk about the freeze response, especially in therapy. Not everybody experiences this, but a lot of people do. And you're sitting there talking to your therapist, and all of a sudden, you feel yourself drifting away, and you freeze. You can't move. You can't speak. You don't care to. You're like hidden in plain sight. And getting back to therapy, the therapist is hard. You're drifted off, and you're trying to get back desperately, but it doesn't work. There are some tips to help you avoid freeze response. Remember, I want to say one thing though before I say that. The freeze response is a unintentional act. It happens when your brain, part of your brain, shuts down because it perceives danger. Maybe you've been talking about a memory or something that happened, and you freeze because some part of you doesn't want to talk about that, and your brain just shuts down. So you just sit there and look dead in plain sight. You're like, your eyes are open, but you're not moving. Statue. So some of the ways you can avoid it is to ahead of time. You have to do all of this ahead of time, okay? Is to learn some grounding techniques. It's very important, grounding techniques for DID anyway. Some of the things I've seen were deep breathing, start deep breathing when you feel yourself very first starting to drift off. And then you could stop. So say stop, and the therapist will stop. Sometimes I've seen where therapists can take a towel, give you one end, and he or she keeps the other, and they gently tug on it when they see you starting to go away, and that brings you back into the present. It's tricky to treat people. Almost impossible to treat people who are frozen. You just imagine. When I got into therapy, I spent a lot of time frozen. I go in there and for my hour and drift away about half of it, maybe a whole session. And I'd come to myself, and Paula, my therapist, would say, "Our time's up. It's time for you to leave." And I learned from that very quickly that I wasn't going to get anywhere in therapy if I was going to freeze. So we talked about it, and talked about the freeze response and what was happening. She had some good ideas on how to keep that from happening, keep me from being overwhelmed by memory. And one technique she used was she had a white wall. She had me to look at that white wall and project my memory onto the wall, and then tell her what I saw. And that was very powerful. It helped so much. I didn't have any trouble with drifting away after that, with freezing. So if you want to learn more about the freeze response, I encourage you to look up and read, Peter Levine, that's his name. He has a lot on the freeze response. And also, I would like you to consider going to my website where I just published a piece about freezing and how to treat it and all this. The website is learnaboutdid.com. Learnaboutdid.com. Anyway, you have a great week, and I'll see you next time. All right? Bye.